Good afternoon, Off the Bench Sports family. McDonough 35 High School, New Orleans, Louisiana, just off the 610 split. Take exit 2A, make a left, and in 2 minutes you hit.
Cadillac Street.
Great school. The school is beautiful, man. Gym is beautiful. These guys have done a nice job here at McDonough. Creating an atmosphere that's conducive for kids to hang out in. So kudos to them. Joining us now is a man made in God's image, Derrick Jones, new head coach, Catholic High School. What's up, Coach?
What's up, Coach? How you doing?
Welcome.
I appreciate it.
Welcome back.
Thanks for having me. How are you?
I'm awesome, man. I keep looking at this gym sign because I guess the gym is just where my heart at.
Mine too.
Gym, football field, baseball diamond. Just as long as it's sports, I'm good. Man, newly installed head coach at Catholic High School, your alma mater. What was that like for you?
Well, first of all, thank you again, man, for what you do. Not only for the kids of this state, but also for, the coaches. And I love watching your interviews. I watch almost all of them when I get an opportunity to, because I want to get insight over, into what other coaches think and how they feel. But so thank you for doing that. You're providing a flat platform that's never been provided before in our state. Obviously, being at Catholic has been a dream. It's honestly, my career has taken me to a lot of different places, and over the course of time, you have conversations and you have these dreams and you set goals. And when I came back 4 years ago to Louisiana, I was super excited to be at Port Allen, and it's a school my daddy went to, school my uncles went to, my cousins, and it was fun being at Port Allen and being able to try to build something special, which I think we did over the course of 4 years. But Catholic High is a place that shaped me into a man. It taught me a lot about life, and it was an opportunity I just couldn't turn down.
What emotions after winning 2 state championships at Port Allen, 1 runner-up finish? How hard was it for you to leave Port Allen?
It was difficult. I've been approached over the years by different schools, and I had kind of set my sights. I remember even saying to myself and kind of making it public a little bit that I wouldn't leave Port Allen for another high school job, and I was gonna, my next job would be a college job and that kind of thing. And I never imagined Catholic High opening. That never was a scenario that even crossed my mind. And when it did, initially my phone started ringing. I started getting texts, I started getting calls, and I started kind of thinking about it. We've been able to have some success here. I poured my heart into this program. What if I go do that there? What could we accomplish at my alma mater? And it was a tough decision. It was, and I've got some relationships at Port Allen, especially with some of my former players that are really, really unique, and it was hard to leave them. And that conversation, when I had to tell them, finally told them that I made my decision, was extremely hard. It was extremely hard on my family. It was hard on my son. He had grown attached. He looks at the players at Port Allen like his brothers. And so when I finally made the decision to go, I've done this a time or two, change jobs. And it's always difficult because you build relationships and bonds with people. But I realized, early in my career, once you're somewhere else, you got to be there. You can't be there and then be in the other place at the same time. And I think it was kind of difficult even for our kids to see how quickly I could make the adjustment and be a Catholic. But I still prayed for them every night. I still thought about them every day. I still, with Coach Jackson's blessing, I still try to help them and make sure that they're, the ones that are seniors are in position to do what they got to do to go to college and continue their careers. And it was difficult. I think finally I wake up and I think about Catholic High basketball before Port Allen basketball, but it took a couple weeks to make that adjustment.
Getting a new group of kids is the challenge in itself. Is not only learning kids' names, but learning their limits and limitations. How hard has that been for you?
Honestly, it's been easy. I have the same staff that Coach Cassio had, and those guys have been awesome. You know, they did a great job of holding down the program in between, you know, my arrival and Coach Cassio's departure, and they've been great with kind of coaching me through and telling me who's who and who does what well. Now, I'm the type of person, you can tell me all you want, but I got to see it for myself. So I did a lot of evaluating in games. I did a lot of evaluating in workouts and in practice. And I think I have a pretty good hold on now. I know every kid in the program's name. that was a big step for me. I'm a face guy. I can remember a face. I never forget it. But sometimes names are a challenge. And now that I can remember their names, I know their games. I know what they need to improve on. I know kind of where they fall in our depth chart. But initially, my staff was awesome. Coach Stove, Coach Relly, Coach Billy, and then Coach. I got two Coach Stoves. They were awesome, helping me transition from Port Allen and getting to know Catholic High. So I got a big shout out to those guys. So it was difficult. It's been a challenge. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't sleep a whole lot the first 2 or 3 weeks I was there because it was so much I had to learn, and I'm the type I don't like not knowing. I don't like not knowing which key opens every door. I don't like not knowing every scenario if somebody's not around where I can get it done. I don't like not knowing all the kids' names. I don't like not knowing all the parents when I'm at the game. I want to be able to speak to every single parent and know them know me know them. So it's been an adjustment. Change is always hard, and then at the same time, trying to juggle leaving the right way and making sure that that program that I left is better than I found it. That was really important to me.
You inherit a team that had been involved in the top 28 or high playoff action. How do you keep that scenario going? How do you finally get them over the hump to be a state championship caliber team?
Again, shout out to Coach Cassio. I thought he did a great job over his 8 or 9 years of taking Catholic from where it was when he found it and elevating the program to a new level. 2 years ago, they were arguably one of the best 2 or 3 teams in the state. They've been really good, really good. And my challenge to me, following somebody who's good, when I inherited Port Allen, they had won 9 games the year before. That's no knock on anybody. And I know, and that program was good, but they had a rough year. And we didn't have a whole lot returning. So we really had to rebuild that I don't have to rebuild Catholic High. Catholic High is already built. But it's a real challenge to go from being really good to being elite, to being great, to being special, whatever words you want to use, to make history. And that's what we're trying to do. That's the way my mind works. Every job I've ever been at, that's the way I approached it from the time, even as a player. Like I go into a season, I want to win the biggest title there is. That's the way I approach it. And that's the way we're going to approach Catholic High. Our goal this year is going to be to win the state championship. We got a huge challenge. St. Paul's is really good. St. Augustine's going to always be good. Scotlandville, they're the standard when it comes to Division I. And there's more. You got Jesuit, you got Brother Martin. There's a ton of really good programs in our league now. John Curtis is up and coming. So the challenge is taking what Coach Cassio has done and taking it to another level. And sometimes it's hard. Sometimes you can only squeeze so much toothpaste out of the tube. But we're going to squeeze every drop we can out of these guys this year. I got a great group of kids, a great group of families. They're coachable, they're eager, they want it, they're competitive. We've got some kids that come back to the program that hadn't played a year or two that are really talented. And I think when we put it all together and when you see the final product in February and in March, I think we're going to have a chance to compete with anybody in the state.
Where can we catch Catholic High this upcoming fall season?
Man, I'd be lying if I told you, because I haven't even looked at the schedule. I have the schedule in my phone. My plan was to get through Summer League, invest and pour into them everything we had for Summer League. We didn't get a lot of practice time. So what you saw me in Summer League, if you did see us, that's how I am in practice. I'm intense, I'm vocal, I'm loud, I'm demanding energy. And then I like to, when we get to the game, pull back and let the kids play. The games are for them, the practices are for me. And I wasn't able to do that because we just didn't have a ton of practice time. We were in a closed window. I wanted to play a bunch of games in June to give them the experience of playing the way that we want to play moving forward. And the schedule, I hadn't even looked at it. I'm planning to look at it Monday. I have a meeting with my athletic director on Tuesday. We're going to look at it. We may make some changes here and there. But you're going to see us playing a really good schedule. My philosophy of scheduling has always been, it doesn't really matter until the playoffs. So, as long as we make the playoffs and we get a decent seed, our goal is to win state. My goal is not my career record. I don't even know what it is. I don't care what it is. My goal is to help maximize every kid in our program's potential, not only as basketball players, but as young men, and teach them to compete at the highest level, not only on the basketball court, but academically, socially, and one day they're going to go out in the workforce and they're going to have to compete for everything they get. And so athletics is going to teach them how to separate themselves. And so that's the goal. The goal is state. That's the only goal. And we're going to work our butts off and see where it falls. As a player at Catholic High, we made it to the state championship in 1995. And we didn't get it done. And we didn't get it done. There was a lot of reasons for that, but we didn't get it done. Catholics never won a state championship in basketball. They won them in baseball, they won them in football, never in basketball. So nobody's told me that's what I have to do. That's not a requirement of my job. A requirement of my job is to teach these kids that they have a good experience and it adds value to their high school experience, to give them the best that I could give them. Nobody's ever told me I got to win a state championship at Catholic High. That's the standard I set for myself. And I want to do all of those things that a good high school coach, a great high school coach does. But on top of that, I want these kids to experience playing their last game on the biggest stage there is and winning it.
Right. Shout outs.
Man, shout out you. Shout out Off the Bench Sports. Shout out Tiffany Jones, my beautiful wife. Shout out Nico Jones. Shout out Max Jones. Shout out all the Jones family. Shout out all the Collins family in Irvinville. Shout out all the great coaches around the state that actually pour into and invest in their kids, not fake like they do it, the ones that actually do it. And shout out all the kids across the state that work their butts off, that are trying to be seen. We got so much talent in this state that gets overlooked every single year. And as coaches, we try to get the word out, and sometimes people just see it too late. And hopefully, with platforms like yourself, like what Maul Monday's doing here with these tournaments, other guys are doing across the state, hopefully our kids begin to get the exposure that they deserve so they can go out and put themselves in a position to get college scholarships, to get degrees, to advance in life, to take care of their families, to be good husbands, to be good daddies. That's what this is about at the end of the day.
Hey, there you have it. Those are the facts. To say if you want exposure, the best way to get it is to get off the bench, get into the game.